The Sunday after September 11th, at the church, the junior high youth group got together. And there were about 15 of them, and they'd all been in school when the towers had fallen. And as I sat around, I said to them, the first thing I said was, "What was your Tuesday like?" And they talked a lot about how scared they'd been, and they talked a lot about what had happened in their classrooms, how some of the teachers had been wonderful. Some of the teachers obviously had people they cared about in one of the towers and had to leave the children unattended to find out what was going on. But basically, it had been a very difficult and scary day for all of them. So I asked them, I said, "Well, when you first heard, what did you think had happened?" And we sort of went around the circle, and they said, "I thought the world had ended." And another one said, "I thought World War III had started." And then a third one said, I thought we were all going to die." Somebody said, "I thought that the nuclear power plant in Peekskill had melted down." They were just reflecting how frightening it was and how their imaginations had just run rampant. So then I asked them, I said to them, "Well, what did happen?" And of course, by then they all knew that 2 planes had flown into the Twin Towers and that over 2,700 people had died in the destruction. And I said to them after that, I said, "What didn't happen?" And they thought for a while. And as they do, they were trying to figure out, what's Mr. Geer up to? But finally one of them said, "Well, the world didn't end." And another said, "And World War III didn't start." And then a third said, "And we didn't all die." And they realized that what I was trying to do was to get them a little bit aware of the fears that they'd had and of the nature of those fears. I said to them, that day, how many of your parents came to pick you up early from school? And all of them raised their hands. All of them had been come and picked up early. And I said, "Why do you think that is?" And one of them said, "Well, maybe the school called them up and asked them to come and get us." And another said, I don't think that happened, but I think our parents were worried about us and they came to get us." And a third said, "Well, maybe they didn't want us going home in the buses. They thought it might be too dangerous." And finally one of them said, "I think they just wanted us to be with them." And I remember I said to that one and to the whole group, I said, "Bingo, that's what they wanted." And it was getting near the end of our session, which takes place before the church service, and I said to them, "And that's what they want this morning too. They want you all to be with them. So when we finish, make sure you go up to the church and you find your parents, and we're going to have a very special service remembering all the people that died. Sit with them and just be with them and feel with them, and you'll get through this all together." And I guess that's my message for this day 10 years later, where we will be having a similar service to remember the people that died and to think back on that day and all the things that happened. Be with the people that you love, the people that you trust. If they were people that were there with you 10 years ago, all the better. But just quietly think and remember all that happened. Think of your fears and how some of those fears were real, but some of them weren't. And realize that if you stick with the people that you love, we'll all get through this together.